Michael, I've talked about this with my other friends, sorry to make you feel awkward about this. At USC, I've often talked about the idea of athletic genius. We don't talk about athletic genius the way we talk at colleges and universities about different sorts of genius. Like we study paintings and we study neuroscience and we study things like this. It's my contention that Michael has a form of athletic genius. He can, when he's in the pool, actually is an eternal metronome in his head. He can count times in his head without really actually having the clock. He can do things, and he's a student in a sport and stuff like this. How did that ability to count times come to you? Why is it important? Those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's really easy to just saying, I have a feeling for the water.
I mean, how does one develop a feeling for the water, if you can articulate this?
I don't know. I have no idea. I always know, like I always know how many, like in that race, in the 200 fly, I knew throughout my career and how many times, in the races that I had done, that I had swam the 200 fly, I knew how many strokes I took the first 50, second 50, third 50, fourth 50. I just knew.
And they vary each of the 50 meters.
I mean, the first, I guess I could probably think about it now. It used to be like 16, 17, 18, or 19 in the last 50.
Right.
And it depends on how many kicks I take off of every wall.
So imagine doing this at the Olympic final when you can't see what you're doing.
I was just hoping to hit that yellow pad as fast as I could. And hoping I was at the right place at the right time.
So let me interject, by the way, when Michael and I talked about this before, Michael's unhappy that he did not set a world record in this race.
I didn't. I did break a world record.
152.3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I broke it by like a couple hundreds. It wasn't good enough though. I'm never happy.
Didn't break it by enough.
Yeah, still to this day, I still think I should.
Still to this
can't
day.
complain. But still to this day, I still don't think I swam that race at my full potential at that time. That's what's frustrating.
Couldn't see what he was doing.
Shows you if I'm that much short of my goal, it frustrates me like no other. When I want something, I'm gonna make it happen no matter what.
Oh, that's right, you wanted 151 that day, right?
Oh, I wanted to break 152.
150, that's right.
A tenth faster, I would have been fine. I would have smiled after the race.
That's right. Now I remember. That's it. Each Olympics, you must have learned something. But take us through each of the Olympics, starting with Sydney, and then I'll help everyone remember. Sydney in 2000, Athens in 2004, of course the age for 8 in Beijing in 2008, and then London in 2012. So let's go through each one of them, please.
2000.
You were 15 years old.
Um,
If you get a chance tonight when you go home, take a look at the pictures of Michael from 2000.
Please don't. Please don't. It's so crazy looking at pictures because I must have been 120 pounds lighter than I am now. I was so skinny, and I literally looked like a 10-year-old boy. I was so young. In 2000, that was my very first big international competition, my first national team trip, my first time out of the country, my first Olympic final. I remember walking out and my suit wasn't tied. I didn't tie my suit for the final race. Or no, maybe it was a semifinal. But it was one of those two races.
Your credentials screwed up, remember?
Yeah, we did have a credential malfunction. I took Pearsall, another swimmer's credential instead of mine. So I got to the pool and I couldn't get in because I had his credential. And that was before the final. So everything was just thrown off. I didn't tie my suit. I was happy it stayed on. I guess 2004, going into 2004 was when everybody really started making the comparison about Mark Spitz. And my biggest thing was I didn't want to be the second Mark Spitz. I wanted to be the first Michael Phelps. And that was something that I always wanted to do. I want to be the first to do something. And so I guess I qualified for 9 events, I guess. Qualified for 9 events and scratched 1. So we went over there and I guess it was kind of like a deer in headlights. I didn't really know how much hype was going to be around it. And
Well, you were 19.
yeah, I was 19. I wanted to get through the first race, because if the first race started bad, then it's just in trouble. It's just over. I was first seed, top seed, 4 IM, had just broken the world record at trials. I just wanted my first gold medal. So I could get that monkey off my back. That's one. I wanted that so bad. I wanted one. And I got my first one, and then the ball just started rolling. And, you know, a lot of people, it was funny, after I did the 200 free there, you know, I guess you could, the media would be like, probably maybe like half of what it is down here in the first section. And then as soon as I got third in the 200 free, 2/3 of you guys were gone. Nobody cared anymore. And then afterwards, you know, it's like everyone's like, oh, it's a failure. You didn't break the record. Okay. Say what you want. Say whatever you want to say. That's fine. I don't care. I'm happy. I'm pleased. But I still wanted more. So that was a learning experience, just because at that point, I had to learn how to control my mental and emotional energy, emotional and physical energy through 8 days. So I had to do prelims, semifinals, and finals of 100, 200 fly, 200 free, 200 IM. I had 3 relays plus 2 400 IMs. So I had to be able just to manage everything race by race by race, because I couldn't swim every race as hard as I could, because I would have been dead by the end of the week. So we tried to just perfect that, I guess, from 2003 all the way up to 2007. And it's like, you know, you have to eat how much you eat and how much you're recovering with a massage or an ice bath or this. Or it's like we had to juggle so much. So that was a learning experience there. 2008, I don't know if I could learn anything from it. I think it was pretty perfect. It was pretty perfect. I ended up being in the right place at the right time for a couple races. So, and then
any
I
of those
guess
races that stand out more than any of the others? The relay or the 100 fly?
To be honest, I think probably my greatest race of all time was as the technical, I guess, part of the sport. It's probably my 200 free from 2008. I think Bob and I both can agree that was my greatest race of all time. I mean, everything about it, just from my rotation to my underwaters to my kick, everything about it, that was the perfect race. Sure, I'm happy to get my hand on the wall 100th with fork havoc and the 100 fly. I'm glad Jason split 46 flat or 46-1 at the end of the relay to touch out the French. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. We were at every single race, myself or the relay team were at the right place at the right time. It was a perfect week. Perfect. 2012, obviously not very happy with how it started. And, you know, I can look back at it now, and we swam the race differently than we normally did. I tried to work the middle 200, or like the second 50 of fly going into the first 50 of back. So I just had nothing at the end.
You're talking about the 400 IM?
The 400 IM, yeah, in Beijing. In London, everything runs together. In London, yeah, I obviously didn't want to be 4th in my first event starting at the Olympics, but it happened, and I was a little frustrated afterwards. I kept my distance from everybody else after that race. I needed some alone time to rethink some things. And then the next day I just came back and I was ready to go again. I mean, I had to put it behind me. I couldn't let it ruin everything else that was potentially could happen the rest of that week.
I mean, how do you do that? How do you reset yourself like that?
I mean, for me, it's easy because I've done it for so long. You know, swimming so many events at every single meet. You know, once one race is over, that race is out of my head, because I then refocus on what I have to do for the next race. It's just like, you know, for me now, you know, learning the sport of golf, it's the same thing. A round of golf is taken one shot at a time. You know, if If you had a bad shot, you can't go back and rethink about that shot. You just have to go out there and make a good shot. Try to follow it up with another good shot, another good shot, another good shot. And that's how I was in swimming. It's how I had to do it. And if I didn't, I would not be able to be as successful as I was. And these are all little things that Bob taught me from 11 until now, being a 27-year-old kid. I still have a kid, trust me. A big kid.
So, did Dream, Plan, Reach, the philosophy, what are you trying to teach kids? You say you're a kid yourself. I don't know about that. I think you're,
Well, everybody out here has a dream, had a dream. Every single person out here has something that they always dream of. And for me, that dream as a kid was changing the sport of swimming, becoming an Olympian, becoming a world record holder, and becoming a professional athlete. I wanted to be the greatest swimmer of all time. So that's where my coach and I decided to come up with a plan of how we were going to get there. And it was little by little by little by little baby steps the whole entire way. And then we just reached for it. Sure, there were ups and downs. There were times where I wanted to quit, times where I wanted to play other sports, times where I wanted to after my first Olympics, I wanted to quit and play a high school sport. Good choice. Glad I didn't do that. But the biggest thing is there's always going to be frustrations. There's always going to be somebody telling you can't do it. And to me, I didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care what stood in my way. There was nothing and nobody that was going to stop me from doing what I was setting out to do. I didn't care. Sure, did I get made fun of for shaving my legs in high school? Sure. I was like, okay guys, whatever, yeah, okay. I was able to put my mind to something and do something that I always wanted to do. And, I always see the kids who made fun of me or gave me a hard time in high school, and they're bussing tables. So, good thing you made fun of me as a kid. Really appreciate that. Thanks for giving me that extra motivation. It's just that easy. If you want something, you can do anything you want, anything you put your mind to. I think the only thing, obviously, a human can't do is fly. But besides that, if you want something bad enough, you're willing to put in the hard work, you're dedicated, you're willing to make sacrifices, there's no way stopping you. If you say you can't do it, just stop. Don't even try. You have to believe in yourself. And that's really the only way that I got here, to be 100% honest. Dream, plan, and reach. That's all.
It's one of the reasons.
It's that easy.
One of the reasons. That's it. Just that's it.